Hello,
Hi.
Bernardo Luz. You look like you're in a beautiful place.
Oh, it is.
We are in a
You see,
beautiful place.
How you feel? Relaxing?
I feel very good.
Okay.
Excited to be here.
Okay. No,
Good.
thank you. Thank you.
Am I supposed to be here? Am I okay? Or are you gonna call me later? How does that work?
How they work? You stay right there. You can open the microphone, also the
Yeah,
camera.
Cecilia, we're gonna
No,
let you know. Oh,
Jessie.
Jessie, we're gonna let you know who talked.
Jessie.
Cecilia or Jessie? Jessie,
Okay.
can we see you, please? And we start the webinar after that. It's gonna be the
We are waiting for you.
yes. No, don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this, guys.
Our pleasure.
Conde, ya tenemos el host.
Ellos pueden compartir pantalla. Sí, sí, ustedes pueden compartir pantalla cuando ustedes.
Okay.
Do I stay here? Get off camera. Whatever you
Not yet, not yet. Vamos a hacer la
You
presentación.
can stay on camera, Cecilia. I think just keep the mic. We keep our microphones
Mic-
closed until they tell us.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, Cecilia. Oh, Jessie. All right. So we can start now, no?
So it's ready?
We are ready.
Okay. Okay, hello, hello, hello. We'd like you to welcome you to this educational webinar. First and more, thank you, our mentor, Mr. Conde, and also thank you for all be present here tonight. We have several people, I think so, on this webinar who have recuperated and maintained their health through the recommendation we have provided. A big thank you for all you for continue support us. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure of meeting me, my name is Bernardo Trujillo. As a certified ND, and I have dedicated the last 30 years of my life to sharing the knowledge and experience gained from the practical application of the various health science, including herbology, iridology, and massage therapies. Tonight, we are fortunate and honored to have the presence of Great Holiday, founder and president of SOL. Also, I'm eternally grateful for the support of my dear wife, Luz Marina, my angel and my motivator. Now, let me formally introduce Great Holiday, founder of Soul Naturals. Greg has dedicated his life and career to the mission of expanding the ancient principles that good health has two fundamental aspects: balance of the body and the mind. This balance is achieved with proper nutrition for both. Greg has spent over 25 years dedicated to natural health. He studied at the Brigham Young University, where he earned his MBA. He also studied music and is fluent in Spanish. Also, for sure, he speaks better Spanish than me English. I'm a humble opinion. The most impressive quality in Greg is his desire to serve others. I first took notice of this when I heard of his motivation to create Soul's first product. Greg, would you like to share your history with our guests?
You bet, Bernardo. It would be an honor. I want to just thank everyone for being here. And as Bernardo said, the reason that we founded Soul is because of the changes that we saw in our own family with my wife, Donna, and our experience with natural health and herbs. We were blessed to get a lot of teaching from many leaders in health. And over the years, because it was my job, I kept listening and learning. And we got to a point where my wife, after our only son was born, our son's name is Ethan, she had a very difficult depression. She had once before in her life as a teenager living in Germany, suffered a little bit, enough to worry her, but had gone many years without any further episodes. In fact, 20 years. But for some reason, after our son Ethan was born, she had a difficult depression. And that continued really into our next and our last child, Grace. When Grace was born, it was very, very difficult for Donna. I think it was more difficult than I knew. And I lived with her and I could see that it wasn't easy, but I think she hid just how hard it was. And around this time, I was the president of another herb company. This is before we founded Soul. And I had sat down to dinner with a wonderful woman who had begun her business and was being very successful in sharing health with others, sharing herbs. And as was my custom at this point, I was president of half of the company. And I asked her why she got involved in helping people with herbs. The way I used to say it, I'd say, how did you get involved with these crazy herbs? Because so many people think they're crazy. But when you listen and you try them, you know they're not. And she told me, well, I became involved because I had a very difficult depression. Then she told me her whole story. It was very difficult to listen to her story. She suffered a lot. Thanks to her mother, who went to a class kind of like this tonight that we're going to listen to. It would have been similar. And her mother bought some herbs. They were Chinese herbs, brought them home. And a few months later, she finally decided to take them and everything started to change. Her health started to change. It started to improve. So I listened. There's more to her story, but I don't have time tonight to tell you the whole story. Her story.
You have time. You have time.
Well, of my friend. So I told my friend's story to my wife, and my wife was suffering at this time with her depression. She was taking herbs on the one hand and Zoloft, which is a prescription drug. Many of you might be familiar with it. It had helped her in a very difficult time. She was taking both of those. And the Zoloft was wearing off. And that is to say, even though the doctor was increasing her dose every few months of the Zoloft, it wasn't working as it once had. Her body was reacting, even though it had worked quite well. And so she had been really, really anxious as to what to do. Now, that night at my dinner, where I met my friend who told me her whole story about her own depression and Chinese herbs, she didn't know anything about my wife. She didn't know what my wife was going through. I don't believe in coincidences. And I guess I'll say that for tonight. I believe that you might be here at this meeting for a reason, for yourself, for other people, probably all of the above. And that's the way it was for me. After hearing this story and sharing it with my wife about my friend who had regained her health, my wife decided to add Chinese herbs to her nutrition. And slowly, she was able to back down her Zoloft until she was able to get off it entirely. And she was taking about 60 to 70 capsules a day of herbs. But she was okay doing that because she felt better. Her health was in a better place. Well, this was our situation. after about a year or two, there were more changes in our lives. And I found myself thinking for the first time about founding a company. I never before in my life had had that plan. But life, one thing it brings is change. Isn't that's certain, and surprises. And sometimes the most difficult changes become the greatest opportunities in our life, and they become the greatest blessings. This was that way for me. With all of the change that occurred in our life, we began to think about Donna and her depression and how she was able to get off of her Zoloft and why she was able to do that when she added what we now know are adaptogenic herbs. Back then, we did not know they were adaptogens. We just knew they helped people. But now we know that they're based upon a certain classification of herbs that are among the thousands and thousands of nutritious herbs that grow on this wonderful planet of ours. Perhaps 50 or 60 are classified as adaptogens that we know of. There probably are more that we will learn in the future. But right now, we know about these. And so we began to investigate. Because of our investigations, we decided to found Soul Naturals. And Soul Naturals had two purposes. One, to build products for nutrition that all were worked around adaptogenic herbs. And I'll explain why in just a moment. That's one purpose. The second purpose was to provide nutrition in a more concentrated fashion, because people will not continue to take 50 or 60 capsules a day. And that is what many, many people need in order to regain their health, because the imbalances are so strong in our day. The chemicals, the altered plants and foods, the let's call it electromagnetic radiation, our phones that we love, they have an effect on our health. The water we drink. So many things they carry a load that our body must clean and clear out, and that imbalance or cause imbalance among our organs and systems, our vital organs, and we don't have the strength, the energy. Remember that nutrition is energy. All plants have this energy around them, and all nutrients do. We just name some of them. We name them vitamins or minerals or different substances. But to me, they all bring that energy. And if our body gets enough of it, if our body gets a variety that's adequate for the imbalances, our body can heal itself. And so Soul was founded with two reasons. One purpose was to make sure that every product nourishes our physical needs and emotional. Now that sounds funny, but it is not, because when the body manages stress and feels a sense of calm and a sense of balance, then it is able to correct itself when it's out of balance, repair what's been damaged, rebuild what needs to be rebuilt. When the body's out of balance, it's fighting to just manage the day-to-day. Adaptogens are a great key because they give us a range of balance for the body to heal in. So that's the first purpose of Soul. The second purpose is to make a way for people to change their nutrition and take fewer capsules in greater concentrations. And so the adaptogens and the herbs that we use are concentrated 4 times, 5 times, sometimes 10 times, in a couple of cases, 20 times, and even, believe it or not, in one of the aloe vera extracts we use, it is 200 times concentrated because it is it's a gel that repairs our intestine. So concentration of herbs was the other great innovation of Soul, not because we're the only ones who concentrate, but because we blend only concentrated herbs with adaptogens so that people don't have to take as many to make a difference in their nutrition. Bernardo, that's in a nutshell, this whole story and why we exist. I hope I answered your question, and I hope that can provide a little insight into why Soul Naturals, why we decided to found a company, and how we've built the product line in a unique way over the years, and why we see such great testimonies. You know, Conde, when he teaches every week, he likes to say, people listen to these experiences and they say, oh, this is science fiction. It couldn't be that good. The stories are too good. But they're not too good. They're real, because the body is that marvelous when we give it enough nutrition in the concentrations we demand in today's world, with the factors that we all live with and deal with. This is what meets and balances the equation again, so the body can do what it's supposed to do. Bernardo, back to you.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate. And this is something is absolutely real. Some people I invited to the webinars Thursdays when they have the end, the part they content more enjoy. They say, this is actors, that's not real people. You pay for the people to say that, because the people don't believe. And it's a big opportunity to say thank you for that particular moment when you realize you can do something with love for your wife, and take a look how many people we touch with your decision. So thank you. Okay, so let me see. Oh, Anthony's here now.
Okay, we're gonna, oh, wait,
I have my assistant.
presentation.
Give me a second. Okay.
Luz, are you sharing screen?
Yes,
So the green, do you have a green button that says share screen on the bottom?
Romero,
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay. So we're talking about mind and body. That's why you mentioned at the beginning when Greg made a very nice explanation about the products and the company. And I want to start with a little history. A few years ago, when we traveled to Europe with my wife, we went in French, in Paris. We go to the famous museum, and we want to see the famous picture. And when I arrived right there, they have a lot of security. They have bodyguards, very armed. They have lights, they have sounds. You can be close to the picture, many securities. And I asked one of the guys, why you have a lot of security right here? And he answered me, because this is a masterpiece. Okay, when I go out and I start to think about his answer, I think that person, they don't know, was a masterpiece. Because you and me and everybody right here in this webinar, you are the masterpiece of the creation. You are the maximum in this planet. But my question, what you do? You protect your masterpiece like the people right there in Paris? Or you can give to the masterpiece a lot of things they damaged? So I leave it right there just for
reflection.
For your reflection. Okay, so everyone remembers the famous phrase, healthy mind and healthy body, and healthy body and a healthy mind. That coming from the people from Greek. The ancient Chinese medicine, one of the oldest in the planet, they also can prove that. An Indian, the Ayurvedic, stayed the same. Ayurvedic is the medicine from India. And now, the most important, the neuroscience prove it. ¿Esto no se puede ampliar más? Okay. In the picture, you see this little guy trying to maintain the balance. And balance is equal to get good health. Sometimes when the people come in to consult us and tell us that the only thing that bothers me is, for example, I have problems with my heart. And I say to the person, how you can say you have a good health when the body is like a big orchestra? Only one instrument, they fail and everything is alterated. The same happens with our body. Our body is a unit. And that unit is something that the actual in the medicine, they start to fall down. I'm going to put this example. When you go to the doctor, one example, you go to the chiropractic or you go to the cardiologist, for example, and say, doctor, I have some problems on my skin. What the chiropractor or the cardiologist is going to say, no, you have to go to the dermatologist. And when you have something to your skin and you go to the dermatologist and you say, I have a problem in my low back. I say, no, you have to go to the urologist and et cetera, because for them, our body is just segments. They are little parts. They are specialists in only one part of the body, and the body is a unit. And when you have any problem with your mind, you feel sad, you feel lonely, you have any kind of situation with your mind, what happened? Any of them, they're going to say, no, you have to go to the psychologist or the psychiatric. That's true? That happened to you? Okay, so the body is a unit. And as a unit, we have to work with them. Like the orchestra, everything have to be in perfect harmony. That harmony, this little doll right here they show us, is you have to keep the balance between those situations, energy positive and energy negative. Let me see, go to the next one. Now, how is the body formed? The body is formed by systems. I think this something that I'm going to remind you from the school. The system is formed by organs, but the organs is formed by a group of tissue, and tissue formed by the union of cells. Cells formed by the union of molecules, and molecules formed by the union of atoms. And atoms is 3 parts in one. They have the nucleus with the neutrons and the protons, and they have something around them in a small orbit they call electrons. They have negative charge, the other ones have a neutron and positive energy. Okay. So we're going to be in the other direction. When you go most of the time to the doctor, they say, okay, we're going to have a cytology and they're going to have the study of the cells. But we can see right here is something else. So we go to the little part, the atoms. So when is any imbalance in the atoms, what does that mean? That means the molecule is going to be affected, also the cells, the tissues, the organs, the system, and one more time, you have imbalance in the body, something the people call illness. I think this is easy and clear. Okay. So organs operate like small batteries. So the people think, so my body is like a battery in the car, when my phone, yes, it's the same thing. It has positive pole in the head, and the negative go in the feet. But at the same time, it's made up the 6 small batteries, and each one of them needs to be recharged. What happens with the battery of your phone? The energy is obtained by the feeding with living food, such as vegetables, fruits, good water, good breathing, and the sun. Greg mentioned at the beginning the importance of the nutrition. And then little by little, we're going to learn how the company give us that kind of nutrition the body needs, the real food. As you can see, you don't receive energy by eating junk food. A lot of people, they have it confused when they say, I feel okay, but they don't have nutrition. And sooner or later, the body gonna send the bill. Just an excess of the calories is what you have in the junk food, that the body converts that calories in fat. This topic we'll cover in another presentation when we talk about 2 very abused organs like the liver and the pancreas. As we see below, adaptogen plants are the best food for you. Why? Because the body receives everything it needs to do its job, reduce the stress. And let me tell you, Americans are the most stressed people in the world. Adaptogen plants give you energy and in a perfect balance between those things, mind and body. Go right here. The 6 organs are responsible for life. We also see the relationship between the organs and our body and the hours, the maximum activity of them. We're going to start with the heart. The heart, if you see in the picture, I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me open it a little bit. The heart is related with the small intestines, where food is assimilated. Every day, neuroscience prove the close relation between the microbiota and the intestine and the proper function of the heart and the brain. So a few years ago, when you say something about this, people think, oh no, this is wrong. Why they have to do my heart with my intestine or less with my brain? And anytime the science prove it, it's absolutely true. It's most, in the heart, they found neurons, like the same we have in your heart. That's why the people say sometimes, oh, I'm going to have a corazonada. I don't know how you say that, but it's something that coming from your heart. It's because it's a specific communication between your heart and your brain. There, when the people consult me about memory, for example, loss or depression or anxiety, etc., I focus my attention on the function of the intestine, how the intestines are working. We're going to see also right there in the picture, in the sixth picture, the activity, the maximum activity of the heart, going to be between 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The next important organ is the kidneys. As the blood filters we damage with sugar, fats, red meat, sodium, sweet drinks, etc., etc. Kidney are related to bladder. That this one we have the bladder in top, and also with all the organs, male and female reproductive organs. Also problems in the low back, pains like a sciatic. This is another question when the people come in and say they have problem with sciatic. So we're going to focus the attention on kidneys. This is the reason why you have that kind of problem, an imbalance. The next one is our pancreas. So
Bernardo,
the function, yes.
perdón por interrumpir brevemente. Tu lámina, si Luz puede hacer clic en la flechita que queda, la parte abajo, no sé si, o sea, está debajo de la lámina grande, pero a
Open it.
la derecha hay una, no sé si ven el 68% ese numerito al
Sí.
pie, pero a la izquierda de eso hay una flechita con cuadrado en más oscuro. Yo
Ujú.
creo que si hacen clic en esa flechita,
They
la
open it.
lámina va a ser más grande para Bernardo. Pruébalo a ver si.
That's why she always
Ahí,
right here,
perfecto,
close,
bien.
right
Y
here,
para
close to
avanzar,
me.
yo creo que para avanzar va a haber algo donde tú puedes, con las flechas en tu
In the
laptop.
computer.
Okay.
Okay, we
Mhm.
can
Ok,
go.
perdón,
No,
sigue.
no,
No,
it's
it's okay.
wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you.
Appreciate. Okay, so the next one going to be the pancreas, and we can talk about some of the functions of the pancreas, like controlling the blood sugar levels, the body heat. This is very important. Skin moisturize, purifying the blood, etc. Sometimes the people have problems with the eyes. It's because there's a relation between the pancreas and the liver with the eyes. That kind of person, they have red eyes, they have to use a continual drops for the eyes. This is a sign. The pancreas send it to you, they need attention. The hours between the 7 and 11 p.m. The next one is the liver. And the pancreas, you're going to see the same relation like the heart with the small intestines. So this is also another reason when the people come in and say, I have a problem exactly with my intestines. We can go to the complete body. Remember, the body is a unit. So the pancreas and the heart are very related with the small intestines. And the next one, you're going to see the liver. And the liver is one of the organs with more functions. If you go and look, they have hundreds, maybe thousands of functions. Some of them are filters all the blood in the body and break down the poisonous. Poisonous, you find it in everything. Greg mentioned at the beginning, is in the air, etc. But I can say also in the shampoos, a lot of people put cream in the skin, and this one go to the skin, to the blood, and the blood gonna be in the liver, because one of the function of the liver is to clean, to filter the blood. Many substances, many poison go to the liver. So this is very important to clean, like alcohol, drugs, and any kind of drugs. So that's why sometimes they talk about the second effects. The liver produces also bile, a fluid that helps the digesting fats, produce and eliminate vitamins. It's a factory for the vitamins. Liver hours are between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. And this is very important because a lot of people, when they come in, they mention, always I wake up in the morning around 1 or 2 a.m. This is a sign you have to start to put attention, because your liver send you a message. Put attention to me. The next one going to be the lungs. And as you see, the lungs going to be related with the intestine, the large intestine. The lungs, they control the air, the vitality, the energy, regulate also the water exchange between the organs. When you go to the mirror, for example, and you put the bow in the mirror, you're going to see it's a lot of humidity, because this is one of the functions of the lungs. A lot of people, they don't know about this, but it's simple, but it's very important. Regulate the water exchange between the different organs. Also control the lymphatic system, which is the second immune system. And the hours, as you see now, the hours for the lungs going to be between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. And this is other point, very nice, very interesting, because a lot of people, they have problems with asthma, problems with respiration. They say, oh, the attack's more strong, going to be between 1 and 3 or 2 in the morning, or sometimes close to 7 a.m. What's the reason? The reason is simple. This is the maximum activity of your lungs. The lungs is in the process to clean. Now, the other organs is the spleen. The spleen is organ is in this part of the world. Nobody put attention to the spleen. The spleen in Spanish, we call the vaso. Sometimes when the people come in and I say, this is problem with your spleen, your vaso in Spanish, and ask, you know what is the vaso? And some people respond to me, yes, it's in the kitchen. Okay, pues the spleen, one of the functions of the spleen is the center of the digestion system. It's the transportation of the food, transformation of the food, recycles minerals. This is very important because a lot of people, when they have problems with anemia, we focus the attention in the spleen. Blood circulation controls also muscle tone. This is simple, it's very important for, especially for the young people or the people they love it. Go to the gym and make a very heavy exercise and the muscles continue very flaccid. What's the reason? The reason is the spleen sends you a message. Put attention for me. When the body has an imbalance, it's one of the organs, I say, signals, messengers, and let us know the one or more organs, they need attention. The signals the body sends out is very important. It's like the way the organs have to talk with you. It's the way they're going to send a message. Those messages could be like you lose hair, you break your nails, you have any problems with your back and your spine. And anytime you say, no, it's because the bed, it's because my job, etc. No, you are confused. This is the language. This is the way when the organ sends a message to you. And we wake up, we take drugs to silence. This is very common. When the people have any pain, they're going to take drugs to eliminate the pain. It's one way to cut with the symptom, cut with the messenger. Symptoms of our body are cries to let us know is something wrong. So next time when you have something, don't say, this is nothing. Bring attention to that part of your body. Let me see if I can go. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the heart. As you remember in the lamina, when I say the atoms have positive and negative, positive have to be more with the emotion part of the body. It's a relation between the organ and the emotions. Sometimes the emotion is reflected in the organ. And they produce an imbalance. When it's that kind of imbalance in the heart, this is some of the signals you're going to receive. One is then excitability, and incense, nervousness, insecure, frigidity, phobias. And when you're talking about phobias, it's different kind of phobias. You feel phobias for being in a high place or in a place with is no light. It's different kind of phobias. And also darkness in closed places, etc. Fears also is a sign. A lot of people, this is normal. No, it's not normal. People feel sometimes fears to mice, snakes, spiders. Sometimes for something simple like dogs and cats. I have right here close to me one of the neighbors. When I go out with my dog, they go back again to the house or they run away to the next floor. So this is a kind of signal. The heart is sent to them. Lack of the enthusiasm. When the people, you talk with the people and the people, they don't want to do nothing. Let's go do this, let's go do that. No, I don't feel good. This is one of the symptoms. The heart is talking to you. Forgetfulness is another one. Our recommendation is the adaptation plans. As the name suggested, the plans adapted to the needs of your body. In the organs, as hyperactivity, it comes and bring it down. They need more energy, they increase the energy. It's very simple. Sometimes the people coming as a couple, and one of them they come in problem with high blood pressure, and the other one with low blood pressure, and I give it the same thing. And the people say, why you give us the same thing when I have? It's because the adaptation plans have that particular characteristic. This is one of the good things we have with the adaptation plans. So it's important right now for the people that come into the webinar to be in contact with the person who invited you to the webinar. He or she will be able to explain more on the idea of the perfect combination and something we call the initial balance number 2. So just talk with the person, let them know you are interested in learn more about the initial balance. And now this is the most important, or one of the most important parts of the webinar. Now we love the most important because it's the part of the testimonies. And the testimonies is so good. And we have a lot of people tonight. You can start if you like with
Cecilia or Jessie?
Jessie. Jessie's right there.
And Luz, if you want, you can unshare the screen.
No.
Oh, perfect.
We learn them
You got
very
it.
fast.
Okay, Cecilia, please.
I know Jessie's there.
Oh, Jessie. I'm sorry. Waiting for you.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. So glad to be here. Thank you for having me. And thank you everybody for coming out who I invited. I appreciate you being here. So I started Soul Vitals about, I'm going on my 4th month. And it has completely changed my life. So I'll give you a little background. I have been going through a struggle probably for about a long time, like 7 years. I was in like a mega depression. I kind of disassociated myself from family and friends. I wanted to leave my life. I would talk to my cousin Fran, my girlfriend Patty, tell them how, I was in a lot of pain. I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. The doctor told me you just need to, decrease your stress. He put me on Cymbalta, anti-inflammatory, muscle relaxer. I was just jumping from one doctor to another doctor, rheumatologist, hand specialist, neurologist, co-payment like $65, sleep apnea doctor. I mean, and I still was not feeling the best. We met Kesh, my daughter met Kesh, and he immediately said, I was going through hot flashes, bad too. Anxiety level was off the chain. Everything bothered me. I felt like I wasn't a good wife. Like I just was in the slumps. So Kesh said, you know what, meet my parents. They can help you with that. I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. Finally, I met Luz and Bernardo. Completely changed my life. They said, look, you need a detox. You need to clean out your system. You need to get in line. You need to balance. One thing that did stick with me that he said, Bernardo said to me, everything starts with a thought and it will affect your body. And I said, whoa, it's so true. Everything I thought was so negative all the time. Everybody got on my nerves. Everybody was just, you know, overwhelming to me. So I started So Vital, and I cannot tell you how awesome I feel. Like I am trying to reconnect with family and friends. I'm back on my Facebook. I am pursuing a new career. I actually got my license. I feel like I'm going to be a millionaire in like 2 years. Like there is nothing no one can say to me negative. I completely have a different mindset. Even my husband's like, I can't believe it. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go with you. Wait for me. Like, I would never want to even go anywhere. I tell my cousin Fran, she's here with us tonight. And I'm like, Fran, don't you see a difference in me? And she looks at me and she's like, yeah, I mean, I would go to her and start crying, and I don't know what to do in my life. And I'm like, now I'm like, I am like feeling so good. I have zero pain. I am happy. I am dancing at work in my chair. I haven't done that in so long. That's when I was like, whoa. I was like, who is this lady? Like, I mean, I just feel fantastic. I never want to stop So Vitals. So the adaptogens, I really believe like instantly within like 24 hours, I felt happy. Like I felt like it was really, something was changing in me. And honestly, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. The best thing that ever happened to me. Like I'm going to conquer the world. I mean, there's no stopping me. And that's how I feel. Like I was telling my friends and my cousin and my husband that I feel like I can't say anything negative. Like there's nothing that I can be negative about. It's just everything has to be positive. It's amazing. And that's my story.
Thank you, Jessie. Thank you so much for, for telling your story. And really, we are very happy for you.
Thank you.
So right now we want to hear Deborah Perez, please.
Debbie.
Hi, everybody. It's so good to be with you. I was asked to share a story, a personal story. You heard Greg talk about his wife, Donna, whom I adore. I've known Greg and Donna for 3 decades now. But I was asked to share a story that is very near and dear to my heart. And I was trying to find his video on YouTube. It just occurred to me that I could share it and I couldn't find it right away. But I have a nephew who has 2 sons. And one son was diagnosed ADHD and the other one was diagnosed fully autistic. I can't tell you where on the spectrum he was, but I can only tell you that at 3 years old, he was not vocal. He couldn't really function with other children. And among some of his difficulties were he had OCD tendencies and he couldn't speak, but every time he wanted to communicate, this is what he did. And he'd cry and he'd scream. And so my nephew called me and said, we're having this issue with the baby and my older son's having this issue. What can we do? And I said, well, this was almost about 9 years ago. And so we started the boys on a Soul program with the only products that we had at Soul at the time. And so we used everything that we had. And within 3 weeks, the younger son, my baby nephew, my great nephew, stopped flapping his hands and screaming. And his therapist noticed that his OCD was diminishing and he was more vocal. And I'm going to make this short because I know there's a lot of testimonials to still follow. His older son was, he's extremely intelligent. They're both extremely intelligent. And so, of course, teachers like to label children who are very active. And so the older one started using the products as well. They use the exact same products, 2 different problems. Long story short, about a month into the program, the younger one who was flapping was no longer flapping. Within a year, he was completely vocal. Today, he is 12 years old. He just celebrated his birthday in November. Many of you, and I think Conde met him, Anthony met him at the convention in Orlando. And I believe that the Trujillos got to meet my two nephews at the convention. And if you had seen those boys at convention, you would never have known that anything was wrong with them. The older one is the more studious one. He is very quiet, but he is not introverted. He is a singer. He has his own YouTube channel. He's a rapper. He's 19 now. And the one, the baby one, who now just autistic, was able to, on the spot, was called on stage by Greg and Jordan to come and share his story. And now Anthony is shaking his head because he remembers he just called him on the spot. None of us were prepared for it. And he just went up on stage and they said, Hector, can you come up here and tell us? And how long have you been using the product? And he said, oh, I've drink them all the time. And what's your favorite? Well, all the green ones. All the green ones. Although he doesn't love Renew, but he still takes it. They fix their own supplements in the morning. There isn't a day that goes by that my two baby nephews, my nephew's children, don't tell me how much they love Soul. And when they're running out of oils, or when they're running out of Soul Megas, or whatever it is that because now they're big fans of Neuro IM. And so whenever they're running low, they just call me, Tia, I need some more, blah, 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 blah. And so they really use the product. And I'm sorry I didn't share the video, but I know that Luz Marina has shared the video. But I know that Greg and Anthony and even Jesus Conde will attest to the fact that they saw my boys just acting like regular boys and just being happy. My little 12-year-old nephew, who was diagnosed autistic, who is no longer showing any signs of autism, also has his own YouTube channel where he teaches people how to play video games. So you tell me if that child is still autistic. I say not.
So that's why people don't believe sometimes this is real. They say, no, this is actors and actresses. So
Cecilia, please, we want to hear your testimony.
welcome, Cecilia.
Welcome.
Thank you. Well, I'm very excited to for this invitation. Thank you. My testimony is I didn't know what adaptogenic plants were. And so, but I did have a list of troubles that I experienced in my life. One of them was fibromyalgia. I had flare-ups that were very painful. I had thyroid issues. I had Hashimoto's thyroid disease. I had acid reflux, anxiety, and depression. And so when I was introduced to I wasn't sure, I've tried so many things. I was working on changing my way of eating. I left so many medications. It helped me a lot, but I wasn't where I wanted to be. I still didn't feel very well. And the depression was so, so bad. I didn't know what to do. I felt lost. I just felt pretty much how the first lady was saying, because it seemed like we had, this fibromyalgia is horrible. It's very painful. So I would tell my husband, I don't know, I just feel so lost. I don't want to go see a doctor anymore because all they do is give me these medications that I don't want to take anymore. They're not helping me at all. And just the fact that they would damage other organs of your body, just that gave me more anxiety, even more. And I was just done. So when I was introduced to Soul, I started taking it, and within a few days, I remember the day that the very next morning, I felt just happy. And I thought, oh, I feel good. So I started taking it. That's when I knew that it really did help. And so I felt this lift every morning. My favorite was the Cinnamate. That's my favorite. I take it every day. I don't have fibromyalgia, I can say. it's dormant, whatever it is, it's gone. I don't feel it anymore. I don't have that anxiety, that horrible anxiety that I used to feel. So I feel more positive, more happy every day. I'm just ready for the day. That's all I can say. And that's a big deal for me. Just feeling ready for the day. And I accomplish a whole lot more throughout the day. I don't have to feel that sluggishness I used to feel, that cloud over my head. All that is gone. So for me, it's so exciting to also tell others that they really do work. So that's my testimony. I love the products and I'm very happy with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. Okay, now Anthony. Hi, Anthony.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Well, I'm here to tell my story and help somebody else that may be in the same condition that I was. Since I was a child, I feel a bit sad. I always identify as a sad person. In 2019, I was diagnosed with depression, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, lazy intestines, and pre-diabetic. When they offered me pills that could be addictive and I will never be able to live without it, I thought there should be another solution other than this. I start my path into the holistic world. I went to different natural doctors, but nothing worked as well as the formulas from Sol. When I went back to the doctor, all the tests was normal. I take the formula since 2019 and my health keep improving. I am sure that I get the advanced nutrition that my body needs every day. I am depression-free since 2020, and I just want to say to anyone that feels sad or had identified with my story, go ahead and take a chance.
Ah, that's good.
Very good. Thank you, guys. Thank you everything for your testimonies. That is the best thing that we have this night, and Greg and Bernardo. Okay, I want to thank Greg Holiday and Bernardo Trujillo for hosting this webinar. And also I would like to thank all of you for attending this important information that we have right now. If you have any question regarding the webinar, please reach out the person who invite you and they're gonna help you if you need anything. So thank you, and we're gonna have more webinars if the people, want every month with our soul owner, Greg Holiday. And also more people that they come in and want to, say your testimony. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everything. Conde, Greg, Bernardo, Debbie, Anthony, Cecilia, and Jesse for being here with us. And all the people is, here with the seminar. Okay, so right now we have to leave.
Thank you, Lucy, Bernardo.
No, thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Appreciate
Thank you,
your
David.
company. And it's very important. And I'm very excited because this is the first time I take these webinars for doing in English, because I'm doing it in another language, but I know English. So Jesse mentioned something and I said, okay, let's go invite Jesse, but I think it's only Jesse and the relatives. And I understand, Jesus, how many people we have tonight?
50, we start with 55 people.
Okay.
60,
Good.
almost 69. This is the
Yes.
first one. The other is going to be more and more.
Okay.
We'll be here.
Thank you.